Well, Alan was key in that because playing a villain, bad guy, whatever you want to call it, in a project like this can be can be risky because often these films feel that they require one-dimensional, unmotivated evil, and that was my concern right off the bat. Even in the audition, talking to Alan, it's how do we make him more interesting than just a cackling fiend? And it was Alan's sensibility and the way we spoke together about the project that made me feel we could perhaps give Malekith some complexity, because that's what the audience demand, really. They have that of the heroes, and I think the villains need that. I did see the first film and I enjoyed it very much, particularly the performances, particularly Chris Hemsworth, because you know it's a big ask that to be this extraordinary comic book physical specimen, which Chris can do. But what I loved about his performance and a lot of the performances, but particularly Chris, was the humour and the twinkle and the charm and the sense that he was taking it seriously, but not that seriously. And that's proved. That's been the proof of working with him on this. Really, I admire that. That is where the pressure is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Playing Thor, um, this comic. He's not just a comic book hero. He's a Norse hero, and he's got the long flowing locks and he's muscular. That really takes some guts, really, and some deftness of touch, and he has that. He's the leader, really. He's set the benchmark for us all, I think. Malekith is a dark elf, and he's the leader of the dark elf. He has almost a godlike status among the elves, and it's difficult to talk about what his intents are without giving away huge tracks of the film. And he is a slippery character to his own men, never mind to those that he opposes. He's probably slippery to himself. And my costume's very elaborate as well and high maintenance. So when I'm not on camera doing a take, I've got at least four people in my face or around my body the whole time. So that takes a kind of discipline. Um, but hopefully it's worth it. It's a very elaborate costume, made with great care, and the makeup as well. It's pretty extraordinary, we hope. Um, I wear lenses. I have prosthetics on my face. I have a different shaped head. I wear a wig. I wear a cage on top of the wig. I have body armor. I have a cloak. Yeah, it's elaborate and transforming. But hopefully you'll still realise. I mean, the idea with prosthetics is that you still get a sense of a living creature, a living entity. Um, and I think we've achieved that. Malekith has a slightly godlike status, the way some leaders do. Um, and Algrim certainly expresses that. He is absolutely loyal to his leader and embraces the idea that I say early on, I'm prepared to die for this. And I say to Algrim, but I don't expect the same of you. But Algrim pledges his loyalty to the cause. The project happened very quickly for me, so there wasn't a great deal of time for training. But we've got a great stunt, Steve Dent, who leads the stunts. So the training happens on set in between takes, and it's you have to incorporate it as that part of performance. It's like anything else, a fight sequence has to be created to a certain extent on the day, because of availability of actors, and um, I've enjoyed that side of things. A big thrill was Tony Hopkins, because when I was 19, I used to work at the National Theatre in London, and I used to sell ice creams and tear tickets. And while I was doing that, Anthony Hopkins was playing Lambert LaRue in a play called Pravda, and King Lear, and Antony and Cleopatra. Now my job was to tear the tickets and then sit on a little seat right at the top of the theatre and watch him. And I must have seen Anthony Hopkins on stage doing the same performance 200 times. And I never dreamed that I would play a scene with him. It was very strange for me, to see this great actor, to study his work, and then to play a scene with him. It was, I was 19 years of age, and then 30 years later, I'm acting with him. Huge thrill and honour for me, and a kind of completion of a circle, really, because I learnt a huge amount from those days just watching him on stage. So that was great. I think what's clever about choosing Alan for this is, a great deal of emphasis is put on the scale of the sets and the scale of the themes and the scale of the costumes, the externals. These films can get buried in the externals. What's the look like? How many fights have we got? But he's all about performance. And actually an audience will buy the stunts and the elaborate costumes and the elaborate sets only if they believe in the performances that are in front of their eyes. And Alan is brilliant at performance. He can do the visuals and the scale. And he said to me, I asked him why did this appeal to you? He said, because I like the idea of just working with the pure image. He's a director and they love that, but he's fantastic with people and about finessing a performance, making it less theatrical, making it more organic, more throwaway, introducing humour.